Hungary has seen a sharp rise in Chinese investment over the last decade. In 2023 alone, BYD announced that they would be investing billions of euros to develop a manufacturing facility for electric vehicles in the Hungarian city of Szeged. CATL has also indicated that they will be exploring investments in the country. Huawei, for many years, has had a logistics center in Hungary. What has spurred this Chinese investment? While some may point to geopolitical factors, the country is ruled by an authoritarian-leaning government. Some would argue Xi Jinping did visit Hungary as part of his first European tour. That is not necessarily the whole story. Ever since Hungary joined the European Union back in the 2000s, a number of major German manufacturing firms, particularly in the automotive sector, have set up their business in Hungary, with manufacturing and maintenance facilities all across the country. However, with a faltering German auto industry, Hungary is seeking new partners. As corporate revenues go down, so does the money the state can collect. Do note that Hungary, for many years, had the lowest corporate tax rate in Europe at under 10%, and so this attracts investment generally. Companies from around the world will want to set up in countries which have tax advantageous policies. Chinese firms like BYD have been operating for many years in Hungary. The deal announced in 2023 comes on the heel of BYD operating an electric bus facility, an electric battery manufacturing facility, and other EV-related facilities in the country. A total of 20 billion euros has been invested over the last several years, and as of 2023, the most recent data I could find, 5.5% of new cars sold in Hungary are fully electric vehicles. The Hungarian government has put a lot of weight behind investments in EVs, and for their part, BYD has pledged to make a EV valued at 10,000 euros. When compared to the average price of a car being about 12,000 euros and the average Hungarian salary being around 19,000 euro per annum, price sensitivity is a big deal. In addition to the possibly mythical 10,000 euro EV that BYD is developing, one factor that might have influenced the construction of the Gigafactory in Szeged is not just the Belt and Road, but also the fact that BYD as a company is known for producing mid-range cars for the average consumer, as opposed to Western companies like, say, Tesla. The first major success that BYD had around the same time as the Tesla Roadster was the E6, a car that initially started its life as a member of the Shenzhen Metropolitan Taxi Service. 13 years later, and BYD is now the world's largest producer of electric vehicles, with all the potential that Europe has for the EV industry. Many companies across the continent, whether German, French, Czech, or otherwise, have simply not invested the capital yet in order to reach the same level as their Chinese counterparts. Only in 2023 did BMW, Europe's largest car manufacturer, announce that they would be investigating building a compact EV. Certainly, this is a good first step, but it's several years away from production. While, sure, relying on EVs for your economy might not be the best tack, you don't want to rely on one single industry. German auto manufacturing in particular currently comprises around 2.5% of Hungary's GDP. This move to secure more EV investments is a form of diversifying away from one single source. While companies like Suzuki and Opel and Skoda do also operate in the country, taking advantage of its wealth of automotive technical know-how, they don't have the same weight as the largest EV producer in the world, which is BYD. In the last 2 years alone, 45 billion euro has been invested in the electric vehicle industry by governments across the continent. From my perspective, the investments by Chinese firms and the Hungarian willingness to take such investments is less a case of geopolitics and more a case of simply trying to diversify an economy and taking whichever money comes in as a pragmatic step towards improving the economic conditions of the country. If a French or German automaker were to invest similar amounts of money as BYD, I have no doubt that Orban would be just as willing to take it, putting aside whatever gripes he has about Brussels. I think as well, over the next decade or so, we will see a rise in domestic European-led EV production. In a recent speech, Ursula von der Leyen, EU Commission President, stated that she wanted to see more investment in startups across Europe to not only build startups here, but also retain them. With the fragmented nature of Europe's capital markets, it is beneficial to have a united fund from which European companies can start here and grow here. Without a doubt, some of those firms developed will be serving the electric vehicle industry and related component industries. With relatively shorter distances traveled by automobile compared to the United States, owing to the distance between cities relatively being shorter, Europe is a prime market for electric vehicles. It just so happens that the majority of investment now is Chinese in origin. Soon, it may be French or German or even Polish, with the way Poland's economy is growing. With enough smart investment into the EV industry, I believe European firms will not only be able to compete on the quality of their EV production, but also on price overall. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and subscribe for more. Thank you for supporting the channel.